The era of fake news is a strange one. The same folks who shout, "Don't trust the mainstream media," also seem to fall for every wacko conspiracy theory that comes their way. Now, a new theory is gaining popularity on Reddit and Twitter, and it's possibly the craziest conspiracy theory yet. Welcome back to What's Trending, I'm Grant Pardee. It's called The Storm, a catch-all term for a number of different conspiracy theories that all link together from an anonymous source who claims to have Q clearance, which is the highest level of clearance in the US government. Hence, the source's alias, q-anon, aka the Q clearance patriot. Now, this theory is multifaceted and sprawling, but the big idea is that Trump is winning, that he is not actually under investigation for collusion with Russia, tampering with the 2016 presidential election. In this theory, all of that is a cover, a decoy for the true targets, namely Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. QAnon's posts are almost always a series of questions and riddles that make you feel smart for drawing whatever crazy conclusion you want. But the basic gist, as with every conspiracy theory, is they're all out to get me, whoever they are. This all started last year when QAnon posted on 4chan, the message board that's basically the chaotic evil version of Reddit. His claim to fame on 4chan was predicting last year's mass shooting in Las Vegas. Although QAnon's post was cryptic and vague, it did include a warning to avoid Vegas. It also included a bunch of stuff about a secret Saudi Arabian Hillary Clinton cabal and various other predictions that did not come true, but nonetheless, now these hardcore true believers believe they have an inside source who can predict the future, and luckily for them, it's the future they've always been dreaming of. QAnon's predictions include that many Washington establishment figures, like Hillary and John McCain, will be soon exposed for their involvement in a global club of elite pedophiles, a group that also funds ISIS, which was connected to Iran, which is also funded by George Soros and the Rothschild family, who supposedly control 80% of the world's wealth. Oh, and now President Trump is about to arrest and punish these evil globalist traitors in the coming storm of arrests and right-wing vindication. Whew! Yeah, it's a lot. Oh, also, they're Satanists, or maybe they're embodied by Satan? It's up to you. If globalists can also be demons from hell, then they're both things. But if that's a bridge too far, just go with evil deep state globalist. Oh, and of course the mainstream media, they're all in on it too. Of course, that's why they're not reporting on any of this, not because it's not real, but because they're all part of this and they're all in on it together, naturally. You may have heard that CNN is fake news, but did you know that Anderson Cooper is also a secret CIA spy, apparently? The idea is that the CIA is part of the deep state, which is the term for the shadow government, the secret string pullers who are all behind the scenes making things happen. So according to QAnon, Trump is not only confirming these predictions, but he's doing so with secret coded public messages that only the true believers can pick up on. And everything is part of it. For example, Trump's inability to open a water bottle isn't because he's an uncoordinated doofus, it's because Fiji is part of the conspiracy, man. And Trump's grammar isn't poor because he's lazy or dumb. No, it's because he's a super genius playing four-dimensional chess with all of his enemies, and he's passing notes that only #MAGA red pill red hats can see. This makes sense, right? Before holding office, the president's previous political resume included tweeting about Barack Obama's birth certificate, so it makes sense that they all love doing these conspiracy theories together. And to be clear, there's no evidence for any of this. It's all just conspiracies and speculation, and honestly, it's a wish fulfillment fantasy that one day all of your enemies are going to be struck down and you will be vindicated. And all of it is from some random anonymous source on 4chan. Ironically, random anonymous sources is something Trump complains about all the time on Twitter. Unless the source happens to be positive about Trump, then it's true. See, if a prediction ever comes true, and it's written in a way that it's vague that you could kind of say it came true even if it didn't, but if it does, then you're like, look, I was definitely right, I definitely know what I'm talking about. But if a prediction doesn't come true, then you can be like, look, I'm still right, it's just that the shadowy evil bad guys are winning, and we need to fight back even harder. That's why conspiracy theorists are ready to believe Q is the high-level military man he claims to be, even though the most likely explanation he's just some guy posting on 4chan. And look, dumb conspiracy theories are a lot more fun when they don't have real-world consequences, but unfortunately, we now live in a world where these dumb conspiracy theories do have real-world consequences. For example, Pizzagate was a baseless conspiracy theory that people laughed at, but it led to real-world tragedy. A young man stormed a restaurant with an assault rifle to free children that he thought were being held there, and now in June, the 29-year-old was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Look, if you want a more fun conspiracy theory that's kind of like this one, but more harmless, you should Google John Titor. I'll put a link in the description, but that was from a couple years ago. It was a guy that was claiming he was from the future, and he was also putting out all these crazy predictions, but he did it in a convincing enough way that people kind of believed him for a while, and he had people going, until it was sort of definitely true that, wait, that guy was totally full of shit. He was definitely not from the future, but I guess it was fun while it lasted. So what do you think? Is this q-anon person legit? Do you think that Trump is secretly fighting a giant, shadowy, satanic cabal of deep state globalists and only his true believers are picking up on his Fiji bottle messages? Do you think I'm just kind of making fun of this stuff because I'm a cuck for the one world government that's coming? Or do you think it's just a group of people messing with the dumb and the gullible on 4chan because this is the internet and there are no rules and nothing matters? We're interested in what you think, so comment below, and for more stories, go to whatstrending.com.